Hello, hi, good morning, good night, good evening, good middle of the fucking night to some of us.
Wow, that was unnecessarily aggressive, I feel.
Some of us are being called out at 3 in the morning.
3 fucking a.m. in the morning.
But it's good. Hi everybody, how we doing? Welcome to hour 16, part 4.
No, we're on hour 13.
Hour 13.
Mm-hmm. We're going into hour 13. The end of your sprints will be hour 16.
I was so goddamn close.
You will be the 16th hour of sprints.
Anyway, welcome everybody. Let me know, how have your sprints been going so far? What have you been getting up to? What have you been doing? Have you been submitting to is it the Guild Assistants? Guild something?
Guild Alliance.
I knew it started with an A. Have you been submitting there? What have you been submitting? What have you been doing if you haven't been reading? I have been asleep because it is 9 in the morning here, and I am planning to tandem, get ready for my day, and read.
Nice.
And we're going to see how that last one goes, because I have got 2 books in mind that I want to read. I am hoping to finish or get a good chunk of finished Bury Your Gaze by Chuck Tingle, which is over on my bedside table right now. And then I would like to read more of the audiobook of Dial A for Aunties. And then, if I get time then, the German is still annoying me to finish my book because I started it in September.
Is this the book that's in German?
Yes.
I mean, I feel like
because it's in my second language, I deserve a little bit of leeway.
I feel like if you're done it by the end of the year, you're doing good.
That was the goal. The goal was read 1 book in German throughout 2024. And I am immersion reading it because I figured that's probably the best way to do it, because then you learn how the words are actually said rather than pig German it through just osmosis.
Yeah. Just having to ask your partner every other page, how do you pronounce this word?
How do you, like, messaging him every 20 minutes, how do you say this? And then how do you say this? And then how do you say that? It would drive him insane. So that is the plan for the morning. As you can see, I haven't even gotten I'm still in my pajamas. Because immediately when I hit that timer, I'm going for a shower.
Mm-hmm.
That is the plan for now.
Nice.
I also have my blinky is still here, still being done. And I'm hoping that when I'm listening to the audiobook later, I'll be able to get some of it continued. But everyone in the comments, what are you getting up to? What have you been doing? Hello, Sheba. Hi, Kat. Good morning. The chimney sweep decided to show up this morning, so I might as well be productive. That is a great excuse. Hello, Teresa.
You up so early.
Sorry?
It's rude of them to wake you up so early.
On a Saturday.
Mm-hmm.
Even worse. Going to continue with Rivers of London 4. Excellent. How are you enjoying it? I'm still playing around with the new side quest, but I will continue my Miss Marple book afterwards. Yes, there is a new side quest that has just dropped.
Yes, there is.
Last night for me. I have about 9,000 ideas.
I think it actually was like 3 a.m. for you, Aoife.
Was it?
I do, because I maybe about 4 a.m. because I dropped it close to 1. I dropped it close to like 1 a.m.
1 a.m. your time?
Yeah.
7.
Yeah.
It was 2 hours ago-ish.
Let's see. Hold on. Let me look at this. When did I drop this bitch? 12:44 a.m. So almost 7 a.m. for you.
Almost 7 a.m. for me. Well, I have some ideas, and my song will be Surprise to Nobody.
Is it Taylor Swift? Is it New Romantics by Taylor Swift?
No, but it is on the same album.
Okay.
I broke your brain. And the book is one that I don't think I've ever talked about, but hit me very, very hard.
Oh, nice. That's always fun.
Thank you. As one of the Germans on the team. Eva, there's no need to read in German ever. Can I show him this? He's asleep right now, but can I show him this? He will enjoy reading that so much because when he keeps asking me, how far in are you? How far in are you? What's happening? And yesterday we met each other and he was like, so how far in are you now? And I was like, 51% done. And he was like, wow. And like, he almost went, in the time it will take you to finish it, I could read it again twice. It is a Jack Reacher book, which is very much his cup of tea, his Roadhouse. I have never read a Jack Reacher book. And also this one is long.
Yeah.
I think it's like 450 question mark pages. In German.
That's a tiny book. Not in German, but that's a tiny book, man.
Oh, in English, I would speed through it in a couple of days.
Yeah.
So Luna is here too. I'm
Right.
going to spend this sprint running to the store. Excellent. I feel like Saturday evening is a good time to go and get like a grocery run done, especially when you're getting to the closing times because nobody's there.
It depends on when the closing times are, because like my Aldi closes at like 7. That's so when everyone's out there going to like get stuff, and I'm like, oh man.
My closest one closes at 9. There's another one a little bit further on that closes at 10, and then there's another one a little bit further on that closes at 11:30.
I'm so confused as to why the Aldi closes at like 9 p.m. when like Publix is open until at least 11. So like, what are you doing, man?
German hours?
Apparently.
Maybe. I have been given permission to show the German that I didn't need to put myself through this. And Daniela is here. Hello, hi. What are you getting up to on this Saturday morning? Do let us know. So as of now,
I feel like maybe there was the real issue is in the choice of book, and if we had chosen one that was more of an IFA book, like what if we'd done 7 Year Slip in German?
I'd have probably been finished it in an hour. I would have cried, but I'd be finished it in an hour.
Yeah, that's impressive.
I need to reread that in English anyway, and have my feelings hurt.
It doesn't hurt your feelings too hard.
Because when you start talking about her aunt.
I don't fucking care about her aunt. The aunt is just like set dressing.
Wow. Poor Auntie Clementine. Wow.
Listen, I am here for the romance and the romance only.
It's a whole thing for me too, because I'm on the elbow crutches soon, so I have to transfer to a trolley. Oh man. That's even more irritating. Like if you are going grocery shopping with any kind of like bodily injury, like when my mom had a broken leg, she wasn't so able to go shopping because she would have to bring her crutches and the trolley, and like she could kind of hobble on the trolley, but then if she had to go and get something from a shelf, she would have to go take the crutches out of the trolley, put the crutches on, go get the thing, take the crutches off, put them back in the trolley, use the trolley as my walking aid.
Yeah.
And it would take so much longer.
Yeah, that's hard.
Yeah. Daniela is packing to go to my parents, and I will start some witchy books, probably Payback's a Witch. Fun. I haven't heard of that one, but I have spent a lot of time recently reading witchy romances, and I guess you're going to see that maybe soon. Maybe on Monday. Because I still need to take a thumbnail for it, and that is in no way finished. That's why I'm going now, because it's not going to be super busy. It's going to be not busy. Yeah, that's fair. Even at this hour on a Saturday night, because depending on where she is, it's at
so Luna's in Australia. I want to say,
depending on where it is, it's at least 6 o'clock in the evening. Don't forget to boop the like button if you're traveling in the playlist, or if not, or just do it anyway. That's
No,
also fun. I was so bang on correct.
good job.
Can't mathematics, but I can time zone.
Technically, time zoning is math.
Technically.
So there's a math you are good at.
Yeah. It's like, have you ever seen 8 Simple Rules for Dating My Teenage Daughter?
Nope.
There's this, it's a girl played by Kaylee Cuoco is on the show, and she's like the typical ditzy blonde, but she's really good at maths because she uses mathematics to calculate the price after sale tax when she goes shopping,
That's funny.
which I thought was just so good to do. So Luna is in a small town, so it's not too bad at this time of night. That's fair.
That makes sense. I'm in a pretty major, like, not a pretty major city. Like, we're a small city, but like, we're still a very urban area, you know?
When it comes to Germany, I'm in the biggest of big boy cities, but
Yeah.
my area of the big boy city is like a small town.
Yeah. I'm like, so where I live is, like, it's big enough. What did I fuck up? It's big enough that, like, you probably wouldn't be able to find me if I told you where I lived, but small enough that you might be able to find me if I told you where I lived. So, does that make sense? Like, it's less likely, but still not as unlikely as I would like.
It's possible, but not. I get what you're trying to say. I get what you're trying to say. It's unlikely, but not impossible.
Yeah, exactly.
There we go.
Whereas, like, if I lived in like New York City, I would tell you I live in New York because you fucking wouldn't. Yeah,
there's no chance. I could drive to a small city in like 30 minutes. That's what it was like when I grew up at home. Like, that's my hometown is here. Our near, like, we're equidistant to our 2 biggest cities, but we're like 30 minutes away from our biggest town nearby. Where are you in Germany, Eva? If you don't mind, I traveled to Bremen a couple of years ago, and I was obsessed with the cobblestones. Bremen is stunning. I went to Bremen for the first time, I want to say last year. It would have been last year. Such a nice town, city. I'm going to be so murdered for calling it a town. But I am in Berlin. I didn't start out in Berlin. I started out in a smaller city about an hour north of Dusseldorf, which is in the west. And then about 3 years ago, I came to Berlin. And now I live on like the outskirts of Berlin, but still Berlin. To explain it. Yeah. So we're at the end of the comments. Shall we head into our first hour-long sprint and see where that takes us? See how we vibe?
I shall be heading into my bed.
You do that.
But thank you for having me for the first little bit.
Thanks for hanging out for this first little bit. It was very fun talking to you.
Yes. And I believe you will have some friends later, potentially.
Let's see how we go.
All right.
And let's go have some fun for an hour, and we'll see each other then. Have fun getting shit done, everybody. Welcome back. So, how did we get on in the first sprint? I, as you can see, took a shower, got dressed, made coffee, and I am now currently at 51% of Bury Your Gaze. And I don't know about anybody else here, but have you ever read a book that is so out of your usual kind of area of the bookshop, and then you pick it up, you have a little bit of trepidation because it's something that you don't usually go for. It's a completely different genre, or it's like a completely different setting or a different author. And then you pick it up and you have such a good time with it. And that's kind of the area that I'm with Bury Your Gaze, because it's a horror book. It is quite graphic. There is a bit of specific horror that I don't enjoy, be it in books, be it in films, be it in TV shows, anything. And I didn't know that that was going to be coming, but I'm still having a good time with it. In the comments, how did you get on? We actually had a couple of people join us as well throughout that sprint. So do let us know what it is that you're doing, what you're getting up to, if you are reading, if you're getting some stuff done, if you are just chilling out. I also need to spend some of the next sprint getting a thumbnail ready for my video for Monday, which is not ready at all. I need to clean up here a little bit. My parents are visiting this weekend, and if they come to the apartment, it looks like an absolute bomb shelter. So I need to clear up here a little bit. I also need to dry my hair, get ready for the day, do all of that. But there is still time. Jess joined. Hello, thank you so much for joining. Just got home from my sister's, had some gluten-free fish and chips. That sounds so interesting. Did you enjoy it? Ate way too much. Happens to the best of us. And now I'm going to sit, watch some Ghost Adventures and laugh at them. That sounds interesting. I've never heard of this before, so what happens in it? Hello, reading The Electrician and the Seamstress by Monica Granlove, a NetGalley book. Don't get me started about NetGalley, Mary. I went through my NetGalley shelf back at the start of last week because I knew I wanted to spend most of November concentrating on getting some of that cleaned up. It's in the triple figures. And it shouldn't be. And some of the books that are on my NetGalley shelf still needing a review are there since like 2022. And I don't think that they should be on my shelf since 2 years previously. So I'm hoping that in November, most, if not all of the books that I read will originally have come from my NetGalley shelf, even if I read them as like a physical book that I've already bought, or if I read them as an audiobook from the library or so, as long as it is connected to my NetGalley in some way, I feel like I'm doing all right. And I know that Nicole from Dusty Book Sniffers is running NetGalley November this year as well. So if you want to get your NetGalley a little bit cleaned up, that is definitely a good way to go about it. Hello, Patricia. Good morning. I just woke up. I'm going to go and get some breakfast, and then I'm going to continue reading of Jade and Dragons. Ooh, how are you enjoying it so far? Did and submitted the Bard quest and listened to a bit of Agatha Christie while crocheting the never-ending Grim Reaper cat project. Fun. Yes, if you didn't see it, there is now a Bard side quest where you need to match one of your favorite songs with a favorite book, or a book that is connected to it, or a book that reminds you of it in some way. Mine was maybe a little bit out of left field. It was a song that you would 100% associate with me, and it was a song that you would 100% expect me to say, but I don't think you would expect me to say the book, because it's not one that I have talked about a lot. It's not one that I've really made any kind of a reference to, but when I first read it, it blew my mind. It was phenomenally good. And if you need to see what it was, you might go and have to check out my Instagram. But also don't forget that in the description of this video, there is an extra Google Doc, so that if you are finished books in this sprint and you're taking part in Fablen, you can also submit them there and you will get some extra points for your guild as well. Ghost Adventures is your typical ghost hunting or paranormal investigation show, but they are so dramatic and it's really funny. So it kind of sounds a little bit like Mythbusters, but with ghosts. I don't know if that's necessarily the idea that I want, but you can tell me if I'm going the wrong way. Also, gluten-free fish and chips was absolutely delicious, as expected it would be. Good morning, Polas. I have just settled in to do some beta reading for a friend's book. Ooh, that's interesting. What is the book about? She wants to have some feedback in 5 hours, so I have to get to it. Yeah, you've got plenty of time. And I'm going to give you even more time now because we're already at the end of the comments. So let's get into another. Oh, we have one more. I have a whole series on my channel matching books to songs. I chose the Monster Mash and said Frankenstein and Dracula. That is spot on. Absolutely spot on. I cannot think of any books and songs that would match in any way better. And Sadia is here. Hello. I just finished my book. As I said, don't forget to submit it in this Google Doc down below in my description. If you have finished it and you're reading for Fablen, you can get your guild some extra points as well. And yes, don't forget to hit the like button as well. And like Christina tells us, don't forget to hydrate too. So now we are officially at the end of the comments. So I think let's go in for a little bit of a longer sprint this time, just so I have a little bit of time to get myself and my house ready. So let's go for an hour and 15. And we've also got Levi joining us just at the start. So let's go for an hour and 15 minutes. Let's meet each other back then and let's get what needs to be done. Have fun getting shit done, everybody. Welcome back, and hello to Neva. How are you doing?
Hello. Well, I overslept, so there's
That
that.
happened.
But otherwise, I'm fine. I'm here. I'm alive.
How are your sprints going so far? What have you been doing?
I have been finishing Tress of the Emerald Sea.
Oh yeah, I saw
And
that you
it's-
started that on. Did you start it, or were you like some way through it on yours?
No, I was like over halfway through it. I'm
Also
reading
in the
it.
comments, by the way, let us know what you got up to. Sorry.
I said I'm reading it as part of a vlog that comes out on Wednesday.
How far in are you?
Like I don't know, like 77%, 75%. I think I might be actually further than that. The last time I checked, I was 75%. I might be further than that because I did listen to some before I went to bed. Let me see. Because I'm listening to like okay, so I'm at 87%.
Oh, you're fine. We'll get you that finished in the next sprint.
Yeah,
for sure.
But I'll finish it, and it's fine. It's not the greatest Sanderson I've ever read, but I don't know. Like now that I'm at 87%, like I liked the beginning. The middle was boring.
Okay.
And now that we're at like 87%, like things are happening again, but I'm kind of like, I don't know. I don't like how much more can you put in here? Like there's not that much book left, you know? But I mean, it's fine. Like it's not, I mean, it wasn't like the worst thing I ever read or anything. It just wasn't the greatest like Sanderson book that I've ever read.
Yeah. What are you vibing for a rating? Like a 3?
Yeah, I'm sitting at like really it'll depend on how the ending like actually fully wraps. But I'm sitting at like a 3.5 at the absolute most. Like it won't be a 4. So it's just pretty like mid. It's not terrible, it's just pretty mid.
That's fair. People in the comments, once again, let us know how you got on. I am at 53 % of Bury Your Gaze. It's starting to get very interesting. You loved this, right?
Oh yeah, I got this as an arc. My buddy read it with Coda, and I gave it 6 stars.
Okay, so you did love it.
And I have read I've not read Camp Damascus, but I've read some
other
books. Yeah, I've read some of the smut that he's written. I couldn't tell you like which ones without looking at them. But I have read some because when I was first trying to like find my footing with smut, for some reason Chuck Tingle was like a thing in 2020-ish.
And that's the one that you started out with?
Yeah. Like, I mean, maybe not like the first one. I'm pretty sure like the very first like smutty book, a dark romance, whatever, was like Brutal Prince by Sophie Lark.
Okay.
But people on like Instagram, the side of like Instagram and YouTube that I found were talking about Chuck Tingle. And I was like, might as well. I mean, it was kind of, I don't know. I wouldn't suggest you start there.
Not necessarily.
But that's just what I did.
It's a fun time. And the books are what they say that they are. But like the German, I was telling him about the book that I'm reading now. And he was like, so who is this guy? Like, has he written other books? And I was like, oh, just you wait.
Just you wait.
I still remember, and I still cherish the day that I told Coda what Chuck Tingle was really about.
Yeah, because I think Bury Your Gaze was the first one by Chuck Tingle that Coda had ever read.
And I just remembered like the glee that he had on those sprints when he figured out what Chuck Tingle's back catalog is actually about.
I will say, even in his smut, he does like a lot of political stuff.
Oh, yeah, for sure. And
so if you don't like that aspect of his writing,
you
probably wouldn't like it.
Yeah. And I've noticed that a lot in Bury Your Gaze. A lot of it, like it's a horror book, obviously. It's also a discussion about queer voices and queer stories in Hollywood and how those are manipulated and how those are tossed to the side just
Yep.
because it's not going to get us any ratings.
Yep. Yeah, and I mean, inherently reading is political. So
Oh.
if people tell me that they don't like Chuck Tingle because he's political, I'm kind of like, well.
Did you know also that there's an entire discussion, like he's leading it himself on Twitter about how like he's a known person, like not very well known, but he has told like 2-3 other authors they have 3 guesses to guess who he is, and apparently they got it on the 3rd try, all of them.
Oh, like who? Like his actual identity? Because obviously his name's not Chuck Tingle.
Not Chuck Tingle.
That's crazy.
Yeah. I never want to know.
Honestly, I don't want to know because I feel like it's gonna be like some author that everybody knows.
Yeah.
And it's
I just want to picture Chuck Tingle the Enigma every time. Like a man
it's like gonna shatter. It's gonna shatter like my illusion.
Yeah.
Because like I have like a vision in my brain. Like when people say Chuck Tingle, like I see like a certain thing in my head, and I just feel like we'd find out who it is, and I'd be like, that's not what I was imagining.
Yeah. It's like in How I Met Your Mother when everyone keeps asking what Barney Stinson's job is, and he's just like, please. And then you're just like, okay, but what is Barney Stinson's job? And then you get this idea in your head of what his job actually is. And then when they reveal it in season 9, you're just like, this is kind of boring. Like this doesn't add up to what I had in my head in any way. And there's a show over here called Gavin and Stacey, and there's this long running joke that an uncle and nephew went on a fishing trip together, and something happened that meant that they didn't speak for over 10 years. And any time that the characters are about to say what happened on the fishing trip, somebody will come into the room, or the phone will ring, or something will happen that they don't get to actually tell what the story was.
Yeah.
And everyone is like, oh my God, what happened on the fishing trip? What happened on the fishing trip? And I don't want to know. I don't want to know what happened because it's never going to be
It's never going to stand up to it. Yeah.
Yeah. It's going to feel like such an anti-climax when they let, like, because there's a Christmas season coming back and then that's it. It's not coming back ever again. But if they do say what it is in that Christmas special, I'm going to be I feel like I'll be disappointed because anything that they could say will just be, oh, okay. That wasn't worth waiting for 16 years.
Right.
You know?
Yeah.
Let's say hi to people in the comments. Some people joined, such as Levy. Hello. Heather also needs to make sure that she gets up to date with her NetGalley reviews. You're doing NetGalley in November, aren't you? Or you're one of the people on the team?
Yeah, I'm one of the people with. It's like Nicole, Coda, Saluna, Dee Dee, Vanessa. And I'm forgetting people, so I apologize. It's like 4:00 in the morning. But there's a whole bunch of us doing sprints throughout the month for that. I'm also helping Rainey with Winterathon. Like I'm an official Winterathoner. I don't remember what we're called. I don't think that's what we're called. But I'm an official sprinter for that. So I'm doing, I think, 2 sprints for that. And then 2 sprints for NetGalley November. And then there's like birthday sprints in the middle.
Not around your actual birthday then, right?
Well, yeah, because my birthday's on the 8th.
Yeah.
But I have to leave because my birthday's on a Friday this year, I need to leave my actual birthday open because like my grandma usually comes down and we all like go to dinner, and I don't know what, if anything, Ryan has planned. So I'm going to do birthday sprints on the 11th, which is that next Monday. But instead of doing sprints at my normal time, which is 7 a.m. for me, I'm not going to start them until noon. because
Fair.
I'm going to put out a thing asking people. I haven't done it yet, but I am going to like ask some people if they want to participate in birthday sprints. So if I run them for 12 hours from noon to
Till midnight.
12 a.m. for me, which would be like 1 p.m. to 1 a.m. Eastern time, I figure more people can join throughout the day
Yeah.
than if I do them from 8 to 5 on a Monday.
Yeah.
So they're just going to move that day.
There.
Go potty.
Hey,
But Aoife says hi, Ari. But yeah, I'm doing that Galley November. I actually am only behind on one review.
That's good.
Don't ask me how I did that.
That's good.
And that's a book that came out like this month, but I kind of told myself like I'll just deal with it during that Galley November. Like that'll just be the first book that I knock out, and then the rest of them will be on like a spinner wheel.
Fair. I believe Crystal is also part of that, and Crystal is here, and she was just joined at the start of the sprint. We've got some people saying hello to everybody. Rebecca also joined. Sorry, I'm late. Doesn't matter. You got here just in time.
Right.
Got lost in my book and missed the switch. All good. If you're worried about missing the changeover for the next ones when we go into Julie's channel, there is a playlist linked on Neva's channel. It is also in her community notes.
And it's in the Discord.
And it's in the Discord. You can follow that playlist and it will bring you straight on to the next channel without having to go and click around on everything. We have also got Werecat. Good morning. Helen is here, coming back after having a little bit of sleep. We had some people in the chat giving some more numbers, which I'm assuming is for a tea blend. So we had 58 and we had 3, which ended up with a green tea with exotic fruits and vanilla and a black Ceylon FOP. I will see how that tastes in a while. That sounds interesting. I don't know what an FOP means.
I don't know either. I know nothing about tea.
No, I know black tea and some fruit teas, and that is all I can give you.
Yeah, I know nothing of tea. So
Jess is in bed listening to 9,000 until I fall asleep. Not loving it so far, but fine. Danny has joined. Hello. Caddy finished my first book and ate second breakfast. Yes, second breakfast is always important on a Saturday. Sadia logged a book, read a graphic novel, tried to nap and failed. Happens. I cannot nap. And there's days where I'm like, I genuinely would benefit from one, such as like the last time that I flew back from Dublin, I got into Berlin at like 10 in the morning or so, which meant I had to wake up at 4 to get to the airport for 5 for my flight at 7. And then with an hour's time difference, I got into Berlin at 10 o'clock. And I was like a zombie for the rest of the day. I was like, I really wish that I was able to just lie on my bed, close my eyes, and like, that's it. I'll wake up again in like an hour, 2 hours, nothing. I spent the entire time staring at the back of my eyelids and also the ceiling.
Yeah, I mean, I have chronic fatigue, so like I have trouble falling asleep, but like once I'm asleep.
Can you stay asleep then? Because I can't.
Not always.
I have trouble falling asleep, and I also have trouble staying asleep.
Well, yeah, for me it depends, because like if my body is not exhausted, and like if my body is overly exhausted, then I will stay asleep, but it's literally my body putting itself into like self-preservation mode. It's not because I get like actually, because I'll still wake up and be tired. Like I wake up every day of my life and I'm still tired. So
same.
It is. But I've like also been diagnosed with chronic fatigue. So they're like, there's really nothing that we can do for you. So I'm like, cool, that's great.
That's fun.
Thanks, though. But that's why I do tend to take naps in the middle of the day. Because otherwise, by the time that it's time for me to go to bed, I'm so tired that I can't keep my eyes open.
Yeah. How did you find it actually with the new meds that they've put you on? Because you said that it will make you drowsy. Did it work?
Yeah, I don't think it actually did make me tired.
Okay.
Because I feel like, so usually with medication, if it's going, it does have a side effect to make you drowsy. But usually for me, that only takes about 30 minutes.
Okay.
And while I have taken the medication that they've given, like the muscle relaxer they've given me, I've not taken the doses they gave me. Like they gave me a dose for me.
Okay.
I have taken like my dad's before, like when my back is like really in pain, but I have to break his in half. And his even halved will make me like within half an hour, I'm falling asleep.
Okay.
And I made it like through my shower. I got set up with my little YouTube ambiance video to lay down and like go to sleep. And I don't think I would have, because I only slept for about 4 hours. So I don't think I would have slept. I think I would have slept longer if it had been like a medication induced sleepiness.
Yeah.
So I will test it because technically I'm supposed to take so there's 2 medications. So they both can cause drowsiness, but I don't think either one did. I will test it at like 10 a.m. because I'm technically supposed to take one of them in the morning, but she told me to go ahead and start it when I went to bed. And then was like, just take the next one at like 8 or 10, like the time you would normally get up. And I will test it then. Because if it makes me tired, like while I'm sitting here on sprints with Margaret, at least I'm not running the sprint.
You can.
But then I'll know that it's that medication that's making me drowsy. But she said that she thinks that the dose she gave me is low enough that it won't actually make me drowsy. It'll just help with the pain.
Okay. I hope it does.
Yeah, me too. It seemed to help with the pain enough that I could, I'm tired because of chronic fatigue, but I got restful sleep. Like I woke up and knew I had slept well.
But that's already a win.
Yeah.
Saluna is back from her grocery shop. It took much longer than I expected. I'm having sausages and creamy bacon carbonara for dinner. That sounds divine. That sounds so good. And I think I will watch The Chilling Adventures of Sabrina while I eat. Ooh, I haven't actually watched that because I am a Sabrina the Teenage Witch, like, purist. And I know that this has, like, the same characters, but different, like, vibes. And I don't know if that's going to necessarily be the vibe that I want, but I might try it out because I've heard some really good things about it. And then we had some more chat about The Chilling Adventures of Sabrina. Levy is doing a 24-hour readathon with some online friends in the timer method. Oh, my book also has a TV show, Donghua, and I got to the part that is not in the show because Chinese LGBT ban, and I am kicking my feet. Oh, are you enjoying the book so far then? Explaining Chuck Tingle to people who don't know is always delightful. It truly is. Like I just Googled Chuck Tingle books and showed them to the German, and he looked at me like I had 4 heads. He was just like, "Are you serious? These are actual, like, pounded in the butt by nobody because I am practicing social distancing." There's so many of those titles that you're just like, how the hell do you come up with this? Apparently so. I don't know if it's well known, but it's known. Let me see if I can find you the tweet that he said and like read you it verbatim so that I don't misquote anybody. Please talk among yourselves while I do that. Chuck Tingle. Chuck, there he is. I have said many times, yes, I am a known person. Well, in caps lock, known is subjective, but well known enough to be guessed in 3 guesses. There are 2 authors who actually know who Chuck is. because I told one of them if they could get it in only 3 guesses, I would answer truthfully. They got it on the 3rd guess.
Well, I mean, at least they're willing to tell, like, to be like upfront
Yeah.
if you can guess it. But like, I'm also not going to. So like,
Oh, I don't need to know who Chuck Tingle is. I'm living
I don't
living
really
bliss, and I'm so happy about that.
Yeah, like I don't want to know who
No.
Chuck Tingle
It's shatter
is.
the illusion.
But I think it's cool that if you were to guess, they're willing to tell you.
Yeah. I think it's cool. This made me laugh. Next minute, it's Stephen King. This made me cackle.
I enjoy Stephen King's books, but knowing what I know about Stephen King,
I don't think it's
there's
him.
just no way.
No. Knowing what Stephen King is as a person and what he stands for,
there's no way.
It's not.
That would be like telling me that it's Brandon Sanderson. Ain't no way.
I thought you were going to say that would be like telling me it's Brittany, and I was like, wow, she's been keeping a secret from us for quite some fucking time.
Right. And Brandon Sanderson, or not Brandon Sanderson, Stephen King has used pseudonyms in the past.
Yeah.
However, he's been upfront about the pseudonyms that he's used.
Mm-hmm.
So it's never been like a secret of like, you know?
Mm-hmm.
But Stephen King has a very distinct way of writing.
Yeah, you'll know from the writing style that it's Stephen King. Basically.
And also, if he was Chuck Tingle, that smut would be so long-winded. Absolutely not.
Stephen King doesn't know how to write a 15-page novel, and I said that.
Here's the thing. I always assumed until he got off of, like, until I started reading things that were written after he was no longer a using addict, I assumed that it was the addiction that made him write that way. It's not.
Oh no, it's just who he is as a people.
That's just how he writes, which I mean, that's fine. But also, I read it in 1 week. Okay. And I'm telling you, that book could have been an email. You know what I mean? Like it could have been 500 pages shorter. And I'm just saying.
That book could have been a voice note on WhatsApp.
We didn't need a 1,000 page book for that.
No. I haven't read it. I've only read one Stephen King book, 11/22/63. I enjoyed it. It's not like groundbreaking. I thought it was good.
I do want to read this one. I went through a big Stephen King phase when I was in high school, mostly because my aunt had all of his backlist. Basically, like, she had all of the books that he had written up until I think like 2005 or something. So I read a lot of old Stephen King. Like I read Firestarter, I read Christine, which is the one about the car. Firestarter has it has 2 adaptations. I haven't seen the new one, but I've seen the original one that had Drew Barrymore in it as a child. Okay. That one was made, I think it was made around the same time as E.T.
Okay.
Like she's about the same age in both. So I read that one. I read it in high school.
You read The Shining?
Yes, I read The Shining. Pet Sematary. I've read Misery.
Carrie?
I've read, oh yeah. Yeah. Honestly, Carrie, for Stephen King books, probably Carrie, Firestarter. Carrie, Firestarter, and In the Tall Grass, which In the Tall Grass I didn't actually read until 2022, I think. And that one is it's a short story. It was made into a Netflix movie, but it was him and his son. They wrote they collabed on that one, and it's like a horror novella. It's only like 2 hours long, and it's creepy. Like it's Christine like actually traumatized me. Like I was terrified of cars for like months after,
Yeah.
which is real terrible considering half my family are mechanics. So
So you were also, by extension, terrified of them.
that's
So
fine. But I do like him as a writer. I just think that he's like the long, what is it called? Like the long walk or whatever the fuck it
Green
is?
Mile?
No, not Green Mile. Oh yeah, Green Mile is one of my top ones too. I did like Green Mile. I felt like the book was a little bit long, but the movie adaptation was great.
I can't watch the film because it will actually dehydrate me from how much I'm going to cry at it.
Oh, the first time. Okay, so I read Green Mile in high school, and
Mm.
then we watched it. It was in my AP English class. We didn't read it in my AP English class, but it was a movie that was used like for movie day, like as a reward. She
They
rewarded
showed you the Green Mile?
the Green Mile. And
Oh my god, here's your reward, everybody. Trauma.
I feel that this teacher who was later found out to have like she later got fired, like the same year she got fired for having drug paraphernalia in her car. So I feel like that explains everything. You know,
that
he would reward us with Green Mile.
adds up so hard.
When I tell you, I was in 10th grade. So sophomore year, so the second year of high school in America.
Mm-hmm.
And no one left
It's like
that class.
15, 16?
Huh?
Which is like 15-ish, 16-ish?
Yeah. 15.
Okay.
Yeah, it would have been like 15 or 16. I don't remember what time of year we watched it, but depending on when we watched it, I would have been probably 15 or 16.
Okay.
When I tell you that even the manliest football players that were in that class
Sobbed. Broke down.
We stayed after class she gave all of us written, like she wrote all like 20 of us excuses for the next class because we were all so distraught that we couldn't walk through the hallways.
Yeah.
Absolutely.
I believe it.
Oh my God. And I mean, it's a great like movie. Okay. Especially if you love like Tom Hanks. If you like Tom Hanks, you'll like it.
I'm a big Tom Hanks girly.
Oh,
Suluna has been trying to anagram Chuck Tingle to see what other author names I can make out of it, which sounds like such a fun experiment. And if you find someone, you come and you let us know.
Yeah, I mean, I'm not gonna look it up and find out, but like you can let us know your theories.
Yeah. Vivian also joined. Hello, hello. Suluna thinks that Chuck Tingle might be Brandy Sandy because they're both from Utah. Fair.
Listen, if Brandon Sanderson is writing smut or books about the gay, like politically gay things, I'm gonna question my life. I'm just saying. Just because I know what Brandon Sanderson stands for. And there's just
I've read the piece. Rebecca has about 80 books left to review on NetGalley. That's actually a lot better than how my NetGalley is looking, so don't be too upset about that one.
I also want to just be upfront about the fact that I did delete my old NetGalley and start over. So
Fair.
that's probably why I'm caught up. Because I was like, if you looked at my Kindle at the amount of arcs I have that aren't reviewed, we're not going to talk about it.
That's fine. Helen liked the tea. It was an unusual blend, but you can mostly taste the exotic fruits. Levy, you did a great job. Thank you for checking. On travel days, like the one you described, I'm too energized to nap. On other days, I have to be super tired. Yeah, that's fair. That's fair. Some of Suluna's meds make her super drowsy. Danny is switching to the wife upstairs from A Small Angry Planet. How are you enjoying both? Hello to my book all life, who is in Indiana, reading Fates and Traitors by Chavarani. I believe that's correct. It's historical fiction about John Wilkes Booth, who shot Lincoln. That sounds very interesting. It's based more on the chilling adventures of Sabrina comics, whereas I think Sabrina and the Teenage Witch is more on the Archie comics. I think.
It is.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. Levy adores the series. It's called Grandmaster of Demonic Conservation by MXTX. Love to see the differences between the live adaptation, which I saw first, the Donghua, which is the Chinese anime, and the book. Nice. Kathy read The Shining this month for book club. Really wish that I had not.
Yeah, I mean, Stephen King writes horror, so like I always tell people like go in knowing that he writes horror. And he writes what I would consider like classic horror. Like he writes things that are like actually supposed to scare you. Unlike black horror where what's horrifying are the events that are happening. So they don't necessarily scare you, like jump scare you. But the reason it's horror is because it is in reality horrifying.
Fair.
But I mean, Stephen King out here trying to actually scare you. You know what I'm saying? Like,
yeah. King does have a short book called The Long Walk. Carrie was the first novel that I lost sleep over at 13. I could not put it down. It started my love of reading.
I will say if you like Carrie,
Mm-hmm.
I would read what is that book called?
I do not know.
It's YA.
Is it Stephen King?
No, it's written by a black author. It came out like 2022, I think. Let me think about it and I'll remember what it is. It's something.
The only black YA horror I know is You're Not Supposed to Die Tonight, which I don't think is the one that you mean.
No, it's not that one. I'm gonna look. Hold on.
You go ahead. The Long Walk is something between a novel and a novella. The irony of the short book being called The Long Walk, beautiful.
Yeah, and it's not that book. It is a long book, but it's essentially just about like teenage boys that they're walking. That's what they're doing. But essentially if they stop walking, they get shot.
Oh.
That's what the book is. Like that's the premise.
That's
I just can't remember what it's called. The book I'm thinking of is The Weight of Blood.
Oh, I think I've heard of that actually.
So I read it in 20. I think it came out in 2022. Maybe 2023, but I think it came out in 2022. One of those years. But I read it when it came out. And if you like Carrie, but you want to support a black author, I would suggest The Weight of Blood, because I actually like The Weight of Blood more than I like Carrie, even though it's a Carrie retelling.
Okay. It reminded Levy of how in my elementary school, and apparently schools across my country, they traumatized a whole generation of kids with Bridge to Terabithia.
So this book, I think I'm gonna look up the actual date it was published. I think this may have came out when I was in middle school. I remember that the movie came out in 2007, which was after I was already in high school. So there was like a reinsurgence of the book.
Probably.
Yeah. So the book originally, I didn't even know this, but the book originally actually came out in 1977. So,
oh wow, it's a lot older than I thought.
Years before I was born. However, there was a big resurgence of Bridge to Terabithia when I was in middle school.
Because of the
film. I think a lot of us thought that this was like a new book when I was in middle school, to be honest, but none of us were checking publisher dates then.
No.
But then the movie came out when I was in high school, so there was another big reinsurgence. And let me just say, what are you doing?
Yeah.
Why did you do this to children?
This is not necessary. The book that made me cry the hardest was The Book Thief. I remember borrowing it from a friend of mine when I was in my Leaving Cert year. So I was about 18 or 19. And I read it and I was like, oh, okay. It's set in World War II. It's narrated by Death. This is going to be so sad. Bitch, you were not prepared.
Listen, if you go into The Book Thief not prepared,
if you go in blind, holy shit.
Die. That's all I'm saying.
And
here's my thing is, I'm like, who were these authors writing children's books?
Yeah.
Because I don't know if anybody's read The Indian in the Cupboard, which I don't
really my god, we watched that movie.
Native Americans are called Indians. It bothers me as a Native American person, but that's fine. Okay.
That movie.
But The Indian in the Cupboard, I was obsessed with this book. My grandma bought me the movie. She might still have it. I don't have it. She might still have it. She even bought me like they sold like the Indian in the little It was like this big.
Oh, like the
And
little
she
statue
bought
then?
Yeah. And she bought it for me. She may still have it. I'll have to ask her. She may still have it. Because she has some of my other stuff. Like she has like a rocking chair that was mine and like some other stuff. But like I was obsessed, but also traumatized. So
Traumatic. Being afraid of cars with a family of mechanics reminds me of watching The Birds for the first time when I was 8 and my dad brought home a love bird. I sobbed hysterically. Bridge to Terabithia was the first book that traumatized me, but it was not the first book that made me cry. That honor goes to The Raging Quiet by Cheryl Jordan. The chilling Adventures of Sabrina are still Archie universe. Okay, I did not know that.
Yeah, they are Archie universe. They're just more based on the Sabrina comics as opposed to the Archie comics. But they're still within the same universe. The Chilling Adventures of Sabrina are just that show is just darker because the Sabrina comics were darker.
Fair. Have you read The Stand? Stephen King?
I don't know. Is this the one where they're walking? I don't know. There's one where they're walking
at a creek. I've seen it done on like Family Guy and stuff. Hello, Natalie. Thank you for joining. Continuing The Secret Garden. We have some suggestions that you were thinking of The Weight of Blood. Recently read Out There Screaming, which is a black horror anthology. Excellent. Did you enjoy it? Hello, Brittany. What are you getting up to today? Saloon has cried the most at the Blood Sion. Fair.
So I know this book, but I have not actually read it.
Fair. Child soldiers in a fantasy setting got me real good. Yes. Should I go into the book thief blind? It's on brand for me this week. Oh, good question. Do you feel like you want to have your feelings hurt?
Yeah, I mean, it depends on if you want to be sad. Yeah, I feel like maybe as a
sad do you want to be?
I feel like maybe if you read it as an adult, I mean, I don't have this experience because I read it as a child, but maybe if you read it as an adult blindly, it may not like fully traumatize you, but it probably will.
Well, I was a legal adult when I read it blind for the first time. So I can come from that point of view. I was also obsessed with the Indian in the Cupboard movies. Bridge to Terabithia and Stand By Me are two movies that I never understood why they made us watch as kids. I never heard of nor saw Stand By Me. I've seen Stand By Me. This book was like a found family, like friend. Like it was about a friend group. Mm-hmm. But if I remember correctly, like one of the main characters like gets shot in it. Jesus.
And it's about like a band of children. Like it's about a band of childhood friends, like childhood boys that were childhood boys? No, boys who were childhood friends. And it's so sad. Here's the thing, I just don't really understand in like the 90s like what movies our parents were letting us watch. What is going on?
Yeah. To this day, it's so funny that I meet people of my generation from all around the Czech Republic, and everyone had a movie night at school with Bridge to Terabithia. It's a canon event for Czech children, apparently. To be fair, my school was wild. They showed us Bridge to Terabithia in my 3rd class and Frank's Diary in 6th grade. Whew. And the Book Thief movie in English class in my 7th grade. And Frank's Diary is about a girl Jew who lived in Nazi Germany during the Nazi Germany reign here in Europe. And yes, it is based on a completely real person.
It's weird. We had to read Anne Frank's Diary, I think, in like 6th or 7th grade.
We didn't have to read it, but I read it of my own accord.
Yeah, we definitely it was definitely like required reading. I think I would have read it on my own anyway because I owned a copy of the book.
Yeah.
But I remember reading it in class and like when it came time to take the test, I was like, why did you have us read this?
Yeah. I did know that there was some connection with Stand By Me and Stephen King. It's based on The Body. But I've never read any of his stuff. I've read his son's stuff though.
I didn't know that it was a Stephen King movie. I just know that I've seen it.
I just had a vibe. Aileen has joined us. Hello, what are you getting up to today? And the cast of Stand By Me is wild.
truthfully, yeah.
I don't even know who the caster sound by me is. I'm gonna have to take a look at that. We've come to the end of the comments. Let us launch headfirst into our final sprint of a half an hour. That'll bring us to about 15 minutes to the hour. So that will give us enough time to let everybody know what we got up to plan for Julie's sprint, and to say our goodbyes. So we will see everybody then. Have fun getting shit done, everybody. Welcome back. So I got to 55% of Vary Your Gaze, but also spent most of that sprint getting myself ready for the day. As in getting my makeup done, doing my hair like fully and properly, figuring out what it is that I'm gonna wear, packing my bag to go. Everyone in the sprint, everyone in the comments, do let us know what it was that you got up to. And also don't forget that after this sprint, if you're in the playlist, you are going to be brought straight over to Julie's channel. She, as is custom, came in for a traditional hello during the last sprint. But she's getting ready over on her channel to welcome us all over. In the comments, do let us know how it was that you got on. We also lost Jess, who has headed out and is going to sleep. We had some people say goodbye. Helen caught up with the sprint, so now only read 2 pages. That's fine. That is still 2 pages that you didn't read before the start of the sprint. That's still good.
Exactly. Sorry, I talked about it.
That's all good. Saluda got to 61% of hiking 2. And Natalie spent that sprint waking up. Also fair. How'd you do? What did you get up to?
Oh, well, I moved some things. Did I hurt myself while doing it? We're not going to talk about that. But I can now plug my computer. I can now plug my computer in over here, which this is where my kitchen table is. Those stairs go to upstairs, and then that door right there with all the stuff on it is my room. But I prefer to stream at the kitchen table because that's where my diamond paintings are.
Okay, that makes
sense.
sense.
I hadn't been able to get to the outlet. So every hour I'd have to plug, while we were in a sprint, I'd have to plug my computer in the kitchen, which is not convenient.
Okay. No. But
I did listen to more of Tress and
3.
Here's the thing. Brandon Sanderson, listen, you really had me bored as hell through the middle portion of this book. And then he just was like, let me reach into your chest and rip out your heart. So thanks for that.
Thanks, Brandy.
What an asshole. But anyway, just simply for what I just found out, I'm probably going to give it 3.5.
I was actually going to ask if it was going to up your rating a bit.
But I'm at 93%.
Okay.
And here's the thing. I'm also a person who I don't really come up with theories for books. I don't try to guess what's happening. I'm just here for the ride. So the twist, because every book has a twist, right?
Yeah.
But whatever the climax of the book, the twist of the book, it always surprises me. It's never a thing that I'm prepared for. And I feel like with this one, I should have probably known. A normal person who tries to figure out what happens would have been oh, that's definitely how this is going to end.
Yeah.
But because I don't go into books with that thought, because I use books to escape reality. So I'm not trying to piece things together. Okay. I'm just here taking me on a ride. That's why I give thrillers such high ratings. Because
just
I know
some,
yeah, because what is that book? Home is Where the Bodies Are. I read that last week. And theoretically, the ending is the twist is pretty predictable, I think. But I didn't predict it. I actually thought
thing with me too.
A different character the entire time.
I can never predict the ending of thrillers. And I think that that's more fun. I think it's much more fun to go into it and not know inherently, oh, it's this guy, or oh, it's this person, or oh, this is what happened here, and this is why. I think it's much more fun and much more interesting to go into it when you have no thoughts, just vibes.
Yeah, and here's the thing, is I want a thriller to thrill me. So I want the author to take me, thrillers specifically, I want the author to take me on a journey that's thrilling. So I don't want to try to figure out what your twist is at the end. I don't want to figure that out because then I feel it makes the journey less fun. And this is not a thriller. This is a fantasy. But I'm not trying to figure she's on a journey, like literally a journey in sky
Mhm.
ships. I will say I don't think I'm a boat adventure kind of girl. I'll be real. I did not give
That's fair.
about the sky ships. And honestly, like the sky ships seem like a cool concept. I just don't care about it.
That's fair. I'm gonna go and post the link for Julie's sprints, which are happening in 9 minutes. Just in case somebody here is not in the playlist, but if you are, it will bring you straight in, so don't worry about that. There, that's her channel. Levy is into hour 1 of the read of their 24-hour readathon. It's done. It's all over. How did your first hour do? And I know that you said you're doing it by a timer, so does that mean you can start and stop, or does that mean this is it? It's all happening now, and it has to be done in the next 24 hours.
I would guess it's a start and stop.
I would also
They're
guess
using the timer method because I've done that like for vlogs. I've done that, and I mean it takes me
done so
like
many
a
times
week to do it because I don't have that much time in a day to read. But when I feel like I have seen some booktubers that are like, if you're gonna do a 24-hour challenge, you should do it all in 24 hours. Now, here's the thing. That is good in theory.
How do people not love sleeping?
Well, that's the thing. It's good in theory. Now, I've seen also where people do it where they do it over 2 days. So like they'll do it like over a weekend. So they'll do it like over Saturday and Sunday or Friday and Saturday, and they'll read for 12 hours and one day and then read and then sleep and then read for 12 hours the next day.
Kind of like the 24 and 48.
My thing is I'm not going to read for a full 12 hours.
No.
So I might as well just use the timer method.
Yeah.
And then just read as much as I can throughout the day, starting and stopping.
Yeah.
Because that allows me to do other things.
Yes. Rebecca, you can find the playlist in the Fablen Discord. Is it in your Discord?
No, it's just in the Fablen Discord.
It's in the Fablen Discord, and it is also in Neva's community on YouTube. It's in her community. I don't think they're called community notes, but that's what I have been calling.
Yeah, it's on my community tab, and then it's also in case. Actually, I don't think I set it to expire in 24 hours. Usually I set it to expire in 24 hours. I'll just archive it at the end. So it'll be in the community tab, or you can just like go to my playlists, like on my channel, and you'll find it there too.
Excellent. Neva, you're as bad as my grandma who keeps hurting her back from doing things instead of resting it. Called out.
Listen, they also gave me like so many stretches that I have to do.
Have you done any of them?
I did yesterday, and I'm gonna be honest. I know they're supposed to help me, and she did tell me like they're gonna be like uncomfortable before they really start like helping.
Oh yeah, you have to push.
I have, and it's not like scoliosis level, but I do have a slight curvature to the bottom of my spine, and she's chalked that up to just having for vaginal births. Like that's what she's chalked it up to, which is like fine. Okay. But like also the kidney infection I had at the beginning of August that I was down for like 2 weeks from really wreaked havoc on like my body. Oof. So that's great. Because she was like, she's like, I feel like a lot of this is side effects from that because it's just like long-term side effects. Because my chronic pain got worse after the kidney infection.
Fair. I mean, not fair, not great, but
it is what it is. Yeah, I didn't see the Twist and God of Malice coming either.
I didn't read that book, so I can't comment.
It's not an EFA book. Don't read that book.
No. I could never. I don't even like staying up for New Year's anymore. I would rather start the year feeling refreshed. That's so fair. This year, January 2024. I stayed up until 5:30 in the morning. I was zombified the day after.
Yeah, I did stay up for New Year's, but but it's because Ari had never seen the ball drop before, like on TV. and
Mhm.
she really wanted to watch it, and like I'm not gonna go to bed and let my kid just like stay up and watch the ball. That's weird. So I stayed up with her, but we basically went like she saw the ball drop and was like, "Well, that was great. Can we go to bed
Cool.
now?"
Bye-bye.
And I was like, "Yeah, we can go to bed." I know that there's a thing planned with me and some people where we're gonna stay up, we're gonna listen to I think we're gonna stay up for 24 hours. I don't remember if that's what we're doing or not, but it was talked about doing it. At some point, I will do a vlog where I do stay up for 24 hours and do like a true 24-hour reading challenge. But I will also say that I will caveat it with, first of all, it's going to basically be all audiobooks. And second of all, I can't guarantee that I will be reading the entire 24 hours. Like there definitely will have to be some like
read for 24 hours straight, you'll go insane.
Like there will definitely be some like B-roll of me doing other things in the 24 hours, but I mean I'm willing to like stay up for 24 hours and like for a vlog.
Levy is doing it in 3 days because it's a national holiday in the Czech Republic on Monday, which is a good idea. Like 8 hours every day is a very good, like really doable chunk. Inga was also here and was lurking, but finished a book. Thank you for coming. We had such a great time with you. Levy's had a great time. Is annotating so much, and the book is killing me, both with the trauma and the angst, and with the sweet and kicking my feet and giggling vibes. This entire series is pain but cute. We like a pain but cute sometimes.
Right.
Seluna is going to have to do the same for her foot to encourage her brain to make the connection back to moving my foot, even though I can't feel or move it. Yeah. Sometimes you just have to kind of push through and do what you got to do. And then Vivian asked where Levy is, because in Greece, it is also a national holiday on Monday. And then we have some discussions of what the national holiday is. And in the Czech Republic, it's the anniversary of when they established an independent state. So I'm assuming that that is the anniversary of the split between Czechia and Slovakia.
I would think, yeah.
Question mark? And then we had a question of what Levy is reading, and he is reading Grandmaster of Demonic Cultivation. So we have gone to what a name, by the way. We've gone to the end of the comments. Thank you so much for hanging out with me this morning, this evening, this night. Neva, do you have anything that you want the people to know about?
Sprints on Monday. Fablen sprints on Monday as usual, and then Wednesday I'll have a video coming out.
Nice. We've had a great time hanging out here. We're all going to go and hang out with Julie now. The link is, where is it? The link is right here. And if you're in the playlist, it will bring you over directly. But we have about 2 minutes, so we're going to go pee. We're going to go get a snack. We're going to go get some water. We're going to stretch. We're going to do whatever we need to do. And we will see each other over there. Thanks for hanging out with me, everybody. Say bye.